Holy free mug, Batman! Hello there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We now have issue 11 of Hachette's Build the Batmobile Tumbler. Now, this is our first big pack. So this is the first pack of 6 that we've received. And we also got in this one our next free gift in the mug. I can show this here. It's fine. It's fine. It's nice. It's a mug. It's a mug. There's not really much more I could say about that. It's a nice little Batman mug. It's lovely. We'll use it. It'll get some use. But I mean, it's a little bit Easter egg mug. I mean, these I could do without. I don't need mugs. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's a free gift. You know, it's a mug. So what have we got coming up in the next 6? Well, in the next 6, what we're going to do is we're going to be completing the arm that we were doing for the wheel. So we've got the other side of it. Then we're putting that away. We're not touching that for a while. We are moving on to the dashboard in 12, 13, and 14, and then in 15 and 16, we're building a console and a heads-up display. But those are all coming. In this one, what we're focusing on is the arm to hold the wheel. We've built one of these before, so it's a mirror of what we've done before. But it's the shock absorber steering rods and the left steering arm. At the end of this one, we'll be talking about the 89 Batman. So the Batman moved from 89. There's a lot to talk about with that one. So that's going to be the theme of this month's video. So there'll be a little 5-minute talk at the end of these about Batman 89, which was kind of my Batman. That was the era of Batman for me. It was amazing. But before we get to that, let's get into the build. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take the support arm here. And we're going to take our 2 shock absorber rods, which are this one here and this one here. And they're going to quite simply slot over there. And we're going to hold it in place with a UM screw. Now, because we're using M-coated screws, that's metal to metal, I'm going to touch the 3-in-1 oil, just to pop that one in there, just to ease the transition into this. But there we go. Look how easy that is. Easy, nice, smooth, done. There we go. Now we do the exact same thing on the other side. Use another UM screw to hold that one in, and we'll take a look. Okay, so that's that one complete. Next we're going to need the assembly from the last issue. So that's this one here. We are going to need this part here. And we're going to need the rod, which is this one here. Now we're going to position all of this so we get this nice and flush. Now you will see there is an L on the back of here. That's a good indicator for us. We know we're going the right way and we know we're going the right place. This is going to sit over there like so. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our support arm that we just built. It's this one here. That's going to sit down there. And the rod's going to pull all of this together like we did last time. And again, this isn't our first rodeo. We have done this before. So we're going to slot the rod through there. And then we're going to hold it in place with a UM screw. So let's get that done. Okay, so now we're going all the way through. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the support, which is this one here. This is going to sit, so again, it has got the L, so we know you're the right way up. That's going to sit over there like so, he says, he hopes, he prays. As snug as you like. Yeah, I've got some, oh, you can see mine is, yeah, I wouldn't say that's spherical, would you? Which would suggest to me that this has got a lug, and it has. There we go. So this isn't perfectly round. This has got a lug. There we go. Now we've got the fit. And we're going to hold that in place with a single UM screw. So let's load that up. I'm trying to hold this all with one hand. It's not the easiest bloody thing to do. So expect a little frustration whilst you're doing this. And we're going to put a single UM screw just in here. Again, I've used a 3-in-1 oil just to ease the transition. You don't risk shearing a head off or anything like that at this point. There we go. So there we go. That's how we are now looking. Perfect. Let's move on. Okay, so bringing up our bulkhead. This is going to slot into place as the other one did. Into the holes. So this has got aligning holes. These will all line up lovely. And then once that's in place, I'm going to flip this round. There we go. And we're going to screw this one in from the back. So we need to rest at this point so you're not having any difficulties like I am. And then we let's get this in place. There we go. Right, there we are. Now we're going to flip this around. Perfect. We're going to flip this around and screw that in place. So on the other side of this, we're going to hold this in place with 4 of the AM screws. I'm just going to go in here. Let me get that ready. Again, 3-in-1 oil is your friend at this point. Let's get these in. There you go, and you can feel it pull together nicely when that happens. That's good. Nice and easy. Okay. So one more here. So that's that one in. I've got the one here. I'll put this one in loosely, but let's get that one tightened up. And then a final one, and that's the bulk of this one complete. We do have another arm to attach to the steering like we did with the other one. So let's get this one here. It's got a very unique steering system, the Tumbler. It's remarkable, so it's going to be really nice seeing it complete and doing its thing. There we go. So those are in. So we're now all held in place. Let's move on. Okay, so this is where the fun and games starts, because this all gets a little bit snug, but we're working on this section here and here, and what we're going to do is take this suspension arm, and we're going to slot that in there like so. As you can see, that drops in, and that's going to sit over this section here. I'm going to hold that in place with a single RP screw. So this is RP, so we're going into plastic, so you do not need to 3-in-1 this. There's no need. So this is really snug, and I'm hoping it goes in because we're going on a weird angle. There we go, nice and easy. So that's that one in. Nice. I was expecting that to be a lot harder than it was, so I'm very relieved about that one. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to do it with the piston. So we're going to get the piston ready, and we will install that too. Okay, so this is where we're going this time. When we take in this piston that came with this issue, and let's go to let's move these out of the way. They don't need to be there right now. Anything that makes this easier is good. Oh God, snug as you like. So that's going to sit over there. I'm going to pop an RP in there. Yeah, this was a lot easier when there was only one wheel on, believe me. I need a much shorter screwdriver. Right, let me get that done. So we've got this done, we've got this screwed in. It's very difficult with the second wheel, is really difficult. And we've attached this to the swing arm using a UP screw. That part was easy. That part's a bloody nightmare because all this gets in the way. So you need a much shorter screwdriver to get it done. Now, one more bit to go and then we're complete. Okay, so this section we're working on next, taking our arm here, we're going to come through this section here, sit over there like so, and we're going to try and line those up with an AP screw, which I think might be easier said than done. This is an extremely fiddly one. I forgot how fiddly this was than the last time we did it, but who knows, we might be all right. I'm keeping the faith. There we go. There's one in now. Is it just one? Do we go in from the other side as well? Nope, just the one. Nope, it's two. Ugh, okay. So we're going to put one from the other side as well. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. Hold it up like this. Coming from this side. Get that one screwed in. There we go. Nice and easy. So there's pack 11 complete. That's it. There's a lot more to do on this steering, but we're not touching this. We're moving away from this now. We are going onto the dashboard. So that's all there is to do in this one. I mean, this is a big old unit. I mean, it's going to be fun seeing exactly how this steering works. There's still more to do with the suspension. The shock absorbers haven't gone anywhere yet. We're going to need a steering arm along the back. There's still a lot to do on this section. We're just not doing it yet. Let's have a chat. So that's 11 complete, nice and easy. Well, I say nice and easy, it's fiddly. It's fiddly is what it is. There's some, again, with these part work builds, sometimes I ask you to do things like, why didn't we just do that first? It would have been so much easier. So particularly the little gasket on, but it would have been so much easier to put that on before the wheel. There was no reason we couldn't have done that. But now it just makes it a bloody nightmare because you're trying to get behind that sodding great tyre to do it. That's not the easiest thing. Anyway, that's all the build instructions complete. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. If you are sticking around for our Bat Chats, we are talking about my Batman, Batman 89, and that's this one here. So 89 Batman. Now, 89 Batman could have been 79 Batman because the production is long before that happened. It's hard to imagine it now, but Batman was in development hell for years and years and years. They could not get a Batman movie made. No one wanted to touch it. And the reason why is because of the Adam West show. It's because the 66 Batman, that's what everyone associated Batman with. So people that weren't reading the comics, which let's face it, as much as I'm a comic fan and I have to admit that the bulk of people that watch the movies do not read the comics. They just don't. So the bulk of people's perception of Batman, the majority of the people going to buy tickets, their perception of Batman was 1960s Batman, Zoc, Pow, Biff. And that's what they had. So it was touted around different film studios at this point, and they all wanted that. They wanted 66 Batman movie, and Batman in Outer Space was very nearly put into production. Batman in Outer Space, and it would have been, more of the same Zoc and Pow and Kablam. That's what would have happened. But it didn't. So anyway, John Peters got involved. Now, if you don't know who John Peters is, Google Kevin Smith John Peters for the funniest John Peters story you'll ever hear. He was a partner of Barbra Streisand. He was a hairdresser originally, and then he got into producing. It's the funniest story. I can't do it justice. Trust me, Google Kevin Smith, John Peters, and laugh your ass off. It's amazing. But it will give you some background into what happened with Superman as well. So anyway, John Peters got involved, and he was going to be producer of this, and they were very eager to get Batman made. And it was announced. So at CinemaCon 1980, they announced, we are making Batman. Batman will be out next summer, 15 million budget. So where's 1981 Batman? Well, it didn't happen. It just entered development hell, never came to anything, because they were trying to fast track it. Superman had been successful, and you would think the success of Superman in the late 70s and the early 80s, Batman would have been easy. You just march that in. I mean, even if they sort of backdoored it, where they're like, okay, we'll have Batman appear in a Superman film, set up Batman film. Didn't do it, which is amazing. It's remarkable. When Superman's been that successful globally, that they couldn't get a Batman movie made is crazy. But that's what happened. So to get away from the sort of campy 1960s version of it, they wrote a treatment called The Dark Knight Returns. Return of the Dark Knight, which preceded the comic Dark Knight Returns, and it was based on what it could be, what we know as Batman today, of lurking in the shadows and taking out the villains. And the story was going to focus on the origins of both Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne, and also the Joker. So the Joker wasn't going to have an origin story in it at all. Doesn't need one because he ain't really got one. It was going to be Joker, Batman, and Robin in that movie, and it again got greenlit. So this time for 20 million. It was going to be out in the summer of 1985, and it was announced, and they said that it was getting a rewrite. So they rewrote it, and it no longer had Joker as the main villain. They were touting Peter O'Toole to play the Penguin, and he was going to be a mobster with a low body temperature. Peter O'Toole's deal with DC stood, and he ended up doing Supergirl. But that one never came to fruition either. Around about this time, they hired Tim Burton. So Tim Burton was hired based on, he was kind of the next big thing in Hollywood. He wasn't the Tim Burton we know today. Well, I mean, he was, but he wasn't. He'd done a lot of shorts. He'd worked for Disney, and there was a lot of buzz around him. And he was about to make Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So they hired Tim Burton to do the 89 Batman before it had been greenlit. So it wasn't going to go ahead, but he was very much attached to the project. And it wasn't until Beetlejuice hit big in 1988 that they then were going, that's it. So Beetlejuice has been a hit, bam, that's it. We trust Tim Burton, in safe hands, let's go. So Tim Burton got to rewrite the script, and let's face it, thank God he did. Now, Batman 89 is not flawless. It isn't by any means. And Tim Burton himself said that he wasn't a fan of the source material. He said that he wasn't a comic book reader, which is why there are some fairly massive liberties taken with Batman lore in the movie. But we'll talk about that in the next one. So once you've got your green light for Batman, well, what do you need next? Well, you need Batman. So who was going to play Batman? Well, we know who played Batman, but we know how that came about and why people really weren't happy about it. And we'll discuss that in issue 12. That's all for now. We'll be back very, very soon with issue 12. We're going to start work on the dashboard. There's not a load to do in it, but it's going to start looking good. We're getting some interior now. So even though there's not much to do, it's still worth being excited about, you know? I will catch you very soon in a world where you can be anything at all. Just be nice. And we will catch you very soon for issue 12 of Hachette's Batmobile Tumbler. I'll see you then.